Greensboro College thrives here. So can you. You belong here. Legacy. Founded on the precepts of the General Conference of the Methodist Church in 1820, the hallmarks of developing leaders for the church and the community included what was the founding tenets of what our colleges are all about: to seek and serve students without regard to gender, race, age, economic, or social status, to provide classical education based on Greek, Latin, and recitation, the integration of the disciplines, physical, mental, spiritual well-being, and always focusing on service to others. Updated and reconfirmed in 2000 by the Greater Board of Higher Education and Ministry, it's called the Covenant between the Church and the colleges, a reaffirmation of what came before, but also an expansion that includes specific commitments to academic freedom, open pursuit of knowledge and wisdom, the dignity of every person, and to support the faith journeys of our faculty, students, and staff, and perhaps above all, built on the bedrock of the balance and blend of faith and reason. Also here at Greensboro College, we have had a good debate underway this year regarding our position that we believe that a rigorous liberal arts education is the best possible pre-professional education. I agree with the words of two exceptionally talented activists active in national educational debates that I've actually had the privilege to meet and talk to personally along the way. I agree with corporate CEO extraordinaire Norm Augenstein that only by providing leading-edge human capital and knowledge capital can America continue to maintain a high standard of living, including national security for our citizens. I also agree with Marian Wright Edelman, founder of the Children's Defense Fund, that we cannot fail to prepare our children to thrive in a world where science and technology will redefine the way we live and work. Promise that we at Greensboro College must continue to robustly argue and reject any notion that traditional liberal arts education is somehow outdated or unproductive. In an article examining the work of C.S. Lewis as relates to the liberal arts, Gregory Dunn wrote and commented on Lewis's observation that the word liberal comes from the Latin liber, to be free. Arts is meant in this regard as broad intellectual inquiry that does not exclude science, technology, mathematics. That it is exactly this well-founded, well-rounded education that preserves our civilization by producing reasonable men and women and responsible citizens, model citizens, patriots. There is a recent public debate that some of you may have been following on just this point, the legacy and promise of liberal education. It is between two information technology corporate icons, Bill Gates of Microsoft and Steve Jobs from Apple. It's been fascinating to follow. Gates emphasizes the need for much more emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and math, technical areas that will drive employment, while Steve Jobs is emphasizing the need for more focus on the liberal arts and humanities that prepare lifelong learners for a society and employment that do not yet exist. Most of you know my background. Many of you know it well. Some of you worked for me for a very long time. Some of you work with me. I work for some of you. Indeed, anyone who knows me knows that I deeply understand and respect the mission of large, complex public institutions. I was part of one for 27 years. My wife and I also deeply respect the critical work of our community colleges. But that is not what the legacy and promise of Greensboro College is about, has been about, or will ever be about. We simply cannot do what they do, but make no mistake, they cannot do what we do. What we do may be challenged again by these times we're in, but what we do will never be obsolete. Through 173 years, 18 presidents, almost 10,000 living alumni, 1,000 faculty and staff, 4 iterations of main building, surviving the American frontier, the Civil War, at least 6 more wars that consumed and still today consume our nation, surviving the Great Depression, the Great Recession, the cultural, sexual revolution, the social media revolution underway now, through racial tension and even conflict, through integration, through becoming coeducational. This institution, based on the bedrock of what is our United Methodist affiliation, is founded on the blend and the balance of faith and reason. Legacy that grounds promise. The seal of the college is inscribed with the Latin phrase sine non palma pulvera. You could quibble over the exact translation, and many do, but we often accept it as no prize without effort. Here at Greensboro College, the prize is no less than the reality that we have proven for 173 years that a broadly educated mind and a life lived in self-reflection based on a personal ethos of faith, civility, and service is a life very well lived indeed. But now, the promise today. As I arrived last spring, I made a number of very careful commitments to the Board of Trustees and to the overall Greensboro College community. Those included a commitment to inclusion, transparency, candor, shared governance. The members of this community know that they are now welcome to give me their evaluations on how I am doing in meeting those commitments, and they do every single day. I love having 1,500 bosses. Inclusion of faculty, staff in the President's Cabinet, management committees, written monthly reports to the board, dashboard indicators, that's all a part of that. But what will be the vision? What will be the strategy? What will be the brand? What will Greensboro College become under this 18th president? Will we become large? Perhaps we'll have branch campuses. I've planted a few of those in my time. Will we have an overseas campus? Commit heavily to distance and electronic education? Will we become a university, perhaps? Will we strive to provide extraordinary amenities? Fountains? It's an inside joke here in North Carolina. Would it be about construction? Millions and millions more in new construction? Will it be about millions in coaches' salaries? Will it be about millions in presidents' salaries? No. No, they're shaking their head no, right? No. I've been on campus now 11 months, and I did make a pledge to the board leadership not to be presumptuous, not to announce or implement a grand new plan without seeking input, not to make new promises that perhaps we could not keep, to stabilize the college during a time of transition, bluntly not to get ahead of myself until we're truly back on track. And those 5 points of the star that you've all heard me talk about internally are really taken care of. Leadership transition, financial management, our facilities, fundraising, and enrollment. Much has been done, but there is still much to do. But no one should presume that Greensboro College has remained static this past year. There are many examples of initiative and movement by our faculty, staff, and students. The board has adopted numerous best practices in governance and stewardship. There is a new undergraduate concentration in international business, a new master's degree in adapted special education, the Barrett Scholars Program and the Georgia Center for Honor Study. We are starting a women's golf team and a men's swim team, the Creative Coffee House series, the new athletic team weight room, the Learning Commons, the new entrance to the sports park in Warnersville, and many more. Yet now it's time. It is time to take next steps. I assure you, oh yes, I have a plan and I have a vision for Greensboro College. I have much of that vision written in notes and plans in my desk. I have 4 A's, 4 aces, if you will, up my sleeve. I can assure you my own vision is aggressive, attractive, attainable, and aspirational. But to a degree, it would be a breach of trust and commitment to the college as it emerges from a period of challenge and transition, even crisis, if I did not seek truly broad input from the entire Greensboro College community to develop, inform, argue, and implement such a plan. Frankly, it would not be consistent with my gift of encouraging and administering the work to others. I am not a prophet. It is not about me. It is always all about the students. I invite and expect civil debate, discourse, and argument. I hope that will be within the context of what philosopher John Clayton has called common ground and defensible difference. Therefore, and in that spirit, I am pleased to announce today, with the support of and in seeking input from the board and all segments of this college community, a new framework for the development of the strategic development of Greensboro College, a framework that will involve 1, 3, and 5-year timeframes, overlapping, concurrent, yet sequential, that will guide us from 2011 until 2020. Dan, if I might have the first slide. Today, I announce GC 2020, a sharp focus and a clear vision for Greensboro College. Phase 1, year 1, this upcoming year, investment in infrastructure, those 5 points of the star all pointing together in alignment to establish a stable base as we move forward. The next phase, a 3-year plan, 2012 to 2015, which will consider, identify, implement improvements, changes in literally all areas of the college with broad input from all of you. From academic programming to student life, scholarship, church relations, athletics, music, art, theater, community service, neighbors, all. And the final phase, to chart a path to guide a new strategic vision that will be a reality by the year 2020. Make no mistake, the work is already engaged, the foundation already taking shape. The newly reappointed Strategic Planning Committee will begin meeting later this month. We already have emerging the shape and the scope of 1, 3, and 5-year plans in enrollment, budget, facilities, information technology, fundraising, marketing, and branding. Over the next year and the following 3 years, we will base that upon our students, our enrollment plan. Our plans are to increase enrollment of our traditional undergraduate population by 40% in 3 years. We will still be small by any measure, but at a level that is sustainable, a budget model that works forevermore as we continue to grow other programs, including our adult, professional, and graduate enrollment. All other plans aligned. We will begin next week an initiative to examine what marketing experts call our brand in the higher education marketplace. Who are we? Who are we? The goal will be for a detailed marketing plan the next year and for a branding exercise over the next 3. And we will begin at 10 o'clock Monday morning. May I please have the second slide? And today I am pleased to be authorized by the Board of Trustees to announce that we are launching a new capital campaign. Pride in the Future, the campaign for Greensboro College. The campaign has begun. We will see its culmination as the college celebrates its remarkable 175th anniversary during the 2013-14 academic year. We began with a feasibility study, research, and stakeholder interviews last November. It was determined there was really not the need to follow a more traditional path where for a number of years we would raise money in a quiet phase and then announce a significant portion had been raised. But rather, we have begun. We are moving forward. As we have moved from this time of challenge, transition, even crisis, we have begun. The target overall will be informed by our success in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th year. It's a fast-track campaign to support the core mission of this college. It is my privilege today to announce a number of significant new commitments that have already been made above our annual fundraising targets since we began in November. First, to support the full implementation of the Exploratory Studies program here at Greensboro College, where beginning next year, no student will be an undeclared major, but rather will be guided by faculty staff to discern what their gifts might be. We had already made the commitment to move forward. We were able to accelerate that substantially by a commitment of $100,000 from the Bryan Foundation. I believe Ed Kitchen is with us today. Thank you, Ed. In concert with the continued support of our community service efforts under the program we call Village 401. For those of you not from here, our zip code is 27401, and our program, Village 401, tries to incorporate our neighborhood. Consistent with that program, we received, just within the last few weeks, a challenge grant with a $5,000 commitment that has resulted in a total pledge of $15,000 to renovate this summer the Campbell Service House immediately adjacent to campus, whereby this fall, a team of students who are competitively chosen will live and be directed by staff and faculty in a meaningful year-long community service and outreach project. I thank my sister Eloise and the members of our Board of Trustees for making this happen. Third of 7, to honor the memory of a very distinguished and very beloved alumna, Mr. Mayo Harlow, an additional $100,000 commitment has been made, and work has already begun to build the Mayo Harlow Racquetball and Squash Pavilion at the Reynolds Center. Kitty Harlow is here today, I believe. Kitty, there you are. I know you've had a difficult trip down here, and I know the family and friends have been with you, and I also understand that your grandson, who otherwise might be here, is actually in California at a national tennis tournament, so obviously the generational level of racket sports continues. Thank you, Kitty. Number 4, during this past year, to address critical infrastructure needs in a very timely manner, at considerably less cost than we would bear otherwise. Some examples: the central computer server room is now properly protected, roof improvements at the Reynolds Center, hot water in Hill Hall. All these things, as well as what you've already heard about dining services, have been upgraded, work that otherwise would have been very difficult to do, but however, we have received the support of a number of our trustees, specifically Willie Bullock and Roy Carroll. Thank you so much. You've already heard from the students that we've upgraded our dining facilities this year, but through a corporate business partnership renewal process, we will announce by the end of this month a commitment by our dining services partner to invest significantly in the upgrade renewal of Fowler Dining Hall, the CAF, as well as new facilities. It is clear that that investment from our corporate partner will exceed $500,000 and probably a good bit more by the time we're done. Thank you so much to Rob and Daniel and others who are guiding that process. Number 6, this is one we already announced, and it was for a specific reason. We announced this new commitment during Founders Day in January so that we may meet the recruiting cycle for next academic year. A commitment for endowing scholarships for students belonging to 4 Methodist churches in Durham, Bahama, STEM, and Lumberton, North Carolina. Scholarship funding made available this upcoming year with the goal of fully endowing those scholarships within the next 5 to 10 years. A $500,000 commitment from trustee Walter Newton and his wife Denny. And 7th, today, with the approval of the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees, it is my privilege to announce the establishment of the Royce and Jane Reynolds Institute for Church Leadership at Greensboro College. They are out of state and could not be with us today, but longtime trustee Royce Reynolds, former chairman, and his wife Jane have made a current annual commitment and have agreed to an endowment of $2 million to permanently endow this institute, which will be a tangible representation of our continuing relationship between Greensboro College and the United Methodist Church. Details of leadership, programmatic initiative, and so on will be made by the end of this month. Pride in the Future, the campaign for Greensboro College has begun. All of the above-mentioned commitments have been developed since we began planning in November. A combination of cash, multi-year pledges, corporate partnership, in-kind, estate and endowment gifts, representing over $4 million in new commitments to Greensboro College. I might also note that most of the cost of this celebration today has actually been underwritten by a member of the class of 1960 and a friend of hers, a very strong Greensboro College supporter, Louise Sparrow and Sally Wheat. They could not be here today, but thank you to Louise and Sally. And indeed, as part of that, we will be much more active in seeking grant funding. Nancy Nicoforo helped us last year in recommitting to that way of supporting the college. We recently received a $12,000 grant through the Federal Department of Education, specifically targeted to improve campus culture on campus for our minority students that represent almost 30% of our enrollment. Thank you, Reggie Wilson, for working on that. We have also hired by contract a professional grants writer. So Nancy, we've replaced her volunteerism with a paid employee. But this legacy, these contributions, these commitments are tangible. All of you will see things happening almost immediately. These are not multi-years someday in the future if we are doing these things and doing them now. Today is not about me. It is about us and the institution itself and the people we serve. Allow me to close with some examples of validation of the legacy and promise of this institution. I will conclude by quoting an alum, a student, and a faculty member, and what they recently chose to commit to writing about their view of our legacy and our promise, of what they think GC is and means to them. I will keep their names confidential, but you may well know who they are. An alum and very generous donor to Greensboro College, who has had a long career in Christian education and music, and who has been exceptionally successful in building a very substantial personal estate, writes as follows. I recognize what Greensboro College did for me and the impact it has had on my entire life. The total education I received prepared me well, not only for graduate school and my life's work, but also to be a better Christian, a better citizen, a better family member, friend, a better person. The money I leave to Greensboro College will be multiplied many times over through the generations, the best investment I could ever make. From a student, a member of the class of 2011, who recently found out that since she made the effort, she has won the prize of being accepted into her first choice, very competitive graduate school, a lifelong dream, she wrote as follows: "Thank you, GC, and I mean that from the most sincere bottom of my brainstem. I often yelled, 'Cover me,' and you did, like the world's best buddy cop. I literally would not be where I am without all of you attaining my life's goal and thinking along the way how underappreciated small colleges are. Getting into this elite graduate program in my field is a testament to me, yes, but also a testament to Greensboro College. I know now that Greensboro College faculty can compete toe-to-toe with any size school anywhere in this world. I love GC. Thank you." And from a very respected scholar and a member of our faculty who recently wrote, "I feel privileged to teach at a school that has an ambitious, self-aware mission that embraces Judeo-Christian values, the liberal arts, diversity, tolerance, and mutual respect. I feel a strong connection to a college that has reason to exist, aside from providing me with a paycheck or even granting degrees to the students. I am influenced on a daily basis to keep faith with a mission that demands commitment to value-centered liberal education. I know the world is a better place for what we do here at Greensboro College. Today is not about me. It's not. It is about us. It is about Greensboro College and the people we serve. If you do your part, I pledge to you and promise you today, I will do mine. Have faith that Greensboro College legacy has survived. Have faith that we will thrive. And believe in the promise that the best is yet to come. I now ask all current students to stand. All current students, if you would stand. All of you up there. As Jamar Tyree mentioned earlier, we have started some new traditions over the past year that give voice to our students during these ceremonies. We've already had the call and response of God is great. But this is another we began this year. Athletic Director Gene Loico has led us in a new way to celebrate who we are, primarily on the athletic field, but not just on the athletic field. Students, you know what I'm doing next. If I could have the next slide. We are. Please all rise for the singing of the congregational hymn.
Thank you for your remarks today. They have filled us with hope and wholesome pride. We look forward to working beside you to accomplish the college's promises as we continue to build the legacy of Greensboro College and your visions. Thank all of you for being a part of this special celebration and adding to the beauty of this place. Please join us for the reception following in Lee Center, located across the street in Main Building. Reverend Dr. Melton will now lead us in benediction, after which we will sing Greensboro College's alma mater.
For everything there is a season, a time for every matter under heaven. So too there is a time for movement, for new adventure, for new leadership, for fields of service not yet touched. Go into the world and respond to the love of God in all that you might do. Live out the vision God has given you, that through you God might transform the world. With love I send you forth in the spirit of John Wesley. May the world be both your and this college's parish. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you.